So how much milk should you serve? Should you ever stop offering milk? How much milk is too much? All right, so how much milk should you serve? So for ages 12 to 24 months, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends a milk consumption of 16 to 24 ounces per day. For ages 2 to 5 years, the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends a milk consumption of 16 to 20 ounces per day. So the upper limit is just reduced a little bit as they get into preschool age. Now beyond 5 years, there isn't like a recommended amount of milk. We just have a recommended calcium intake. So for kids 4 to 8 years old, they need 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day, and that's the equivalent of approximately 2 to 3 servings of milk or dairy foods. And kids ages 9 to 18 years need approximately 1,300 milligrams of calcium per day, which is equivalent to approximately 4 servings of milk or dairy. Now keep in mind, you don't need milk or dairy in your child's diet to meet calcium requirements. And I'll talk about some plant-based calcium sources in a couple minutes. I just want to give you an example for if you are choosing to serve milk to your kid, what that looks like by age and what they might need. So how much milk is too much? I had a lot of people asking, what do I do when my kid wants to drink milk all day long? How do I know if they're drinking too much? So we know that excessive calcium consumption, which is usually in the form of a supplement, but can also be from excessive milk consumption, that can impair iron absorption and cause iron deficiency anemia. Now this is really interesting how this happens. So iron and calcium are both something called divalent minerals. And because the molecular structure in both iron and calcium is somewhat similar, they're both absorbed in the GI tract using the same transporter. So they essentially compete for entry into your body. And when there's a ton of calcium, iron absorption is decreased because calcium is essentially taking over all the channels for absorption and closing them off so iron can't get in. So that is how a kid can become iron deficient from drinking too much milk. Now, signs of anemia in children include fatigue, headache, irritability, poor growth, cold hands and feet, and easy bruising, among others. So if you notice these symptoms, it's really important to chat with your doctor because most pediatrician's office can do a check for iron in office and you can get answers right away. Now, clues your kid might be drinking too much milk include drinking only milk instead of water, or drinking so much milk that they don't really have an appetite for food throughout the day. So what if your kid wants to drink milk all the time? So in the interest of keeping this a mini course, I'm not going to go into all the details of responsive feeding practices and the division of responsibility. You can find that in my other YouTube, Instagram, and podcast content. But I will recommend offering milk a few times per day, depending on what your child will drink, adjusting and finagling to get to the point where they drink no more than the recommended amounts for their age. So remember that it is your job to decide what is served and when it's served, and it's your child's job to decide how much of what is served that they're going to eat. So instead of letting your child pick what beverage they want, try letting them pick the type of cup, or let them pick if they want to pour it or you want to pour the milk or water into their cup. So where I see things go wrong is when a parent asks a child what they want to drink with every meal or snack, and then the child always replies milk, or listening to a request for a child for milk whenever they ask. We want you as the parent to decide when milk is offered, not the other way around. The child should not be deciding when milk is offered and when they get their milk. That is a good way to help limit their milk consumption to prevent them having an excessive milk consumption. Let's say you choose when to serve milk and your child just like totally guzzles it, and maybe they drink 10 ounces of milk at a time when you serve milk. So in that situation, only serve it 2 times a day. So if your child only drinks milk and doesn't eat any of the food when milk is served, maybe serve milk at a snack time instead of a meal time to prevent them from not eating any food at the dinner table. So what do you do if your child asks for milk at a time when you haven't decided to serve it? So in this situation, I recommend gently reminding them that milk isn't on the menu right now. So in my house, I say, That's not on the menu right now, but that's a really great idea, and we can serve that again next at breakfast. So I let them know, hey, it's not your job to choose what's served, it's my job to choose, but I hear you that you want that, and we can have that again soon. And I tell them the next time we're going to have that so that they can know in their head it's not like an arbitrary, oh yeah, we'll serve it again. You're committing to them the next time you're going to serve milk, and sometimes that can help quell a tantrum. So if your child will drink way more than the recommended amount of milk per day, don't offer them that option. Stick to a structure and schedule in the kitchen, which includes you as the parent making the choice of what beverage is served. Another question I got is, what if my kid won't drink water and all they want is milk? Like, I don't want them to be dehydrated. So if your child struggles with water intake, stay tuned for an episode where I'm gonna chat all about how to help kids who struggle with this. If you are concerned that your child is dehydrated, it's really important to reach out to your child's pediatrician for an evaluation. Now, should you ever stop offering milk? You don't have to. Many adults enjoy milk well into adulthood and even into old age. As a child, teen, and adult, milk can be an excellent addition to a well-balanced diet.